flipping back the calendar to highlight yesteryear's finest while exploring the vast archives in cinema history. This is the Movie Review Rewind podcast on Nashville Movie Dispatch.
Welcome back for another episode of the Movie Review Rewind podcast right here on Nashville Movie Dispatch. Spooky season rolling on. Man, we're off to a hell of a start here. We're going to be talking about The Others today, starring Nicole Kidman. I'll be your host for the show, the EIC at Sobros Network, Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley, collectively at Sobros Network, and of course all of our film reviews are available at NashvilleMovieDispatch.substack.com. Joined as usual by the resident film critic of Nashville Movie Dispatch. He is a board member of the Music City Film Critics Association. He is a member of the Southeastern Film Critics Association. Mr. Big Shot himself, Brandon Vick. Brandon, how you doing today?
Good. This is one of, and I think I counted this yesterday, of 653 things we're doing for Halloween on Nashville Movie Dispatch.
That's how it works. Yeah. We've got five special spooky season episodes of the Movie Review Rewind podcast. We talked about Halloween, the original, the OG, last week with our buddy Brett. We've got an episode on The Witch coming up next week. Like, we're off to a hell of a start. We're gonna bring things back down to earth in a couple of weeks when we talk about Cursed with our friend Brittany Fernandez.
Yeah.
And then sending off the season on Halloween is an episode that I did with Outdoor Sobro about Ernest Scared Stupid. So this kind of feels like, man, we really loaded things up this year.
Well, and then outside of this, was it? I think we have 10 Drinking With.
We do, yeah.
We have right?
Drinking With on Club Dread, Shaun of the Dead. What was the actual horror movie we did this year?
Is it Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, yeah. So that's
and our
live streams coming up. Actually, I don't know when this is going to be released.
Yeah,
the live stream.
I didn't want to say the date in case we've already done it.
Yeah,
Can we tell people what
it
is?
I'm
okay.
fine with it because I feel like, didn't we say it on the episodes of Drinking With?
We did. Yeah, it's Saw.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I mean, this is
we love Halloween, I guess.
We do love Halloween here.
I do actually love this time of year. I love I love the fall. I love the sweater weather.
Yeah,
football is in full gear. Not that I really watch it, but I have to say it because I'm American.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it works.
But yeah, I really do love this time of year. And my wife has kind of gotten me more into Halloween when we met.
She's a big Halloween fan.
Yes, especially with decorating and stuff too. And now with my son, who's 2.5, a little over 2.5, but it's getting more fun.
Yeah.
We still can't really go by, like, at Lowe's, they have these huge, like, Grim Reaper thing and everything else. Anyway, we have to go, like, I have to take the long way around so he doesn't see it.
Scared of that
but
stuff.
anything like, a ghost, a friendly ghost, or Mickey and a pumpkin, stuff like that are good. He's been pretty good at trick-or-treating. We don't quite, the last thing I heard was my son wanted to be the Grinch.
That's an awesome idea, though.
And then my wife would be Max.
Okay.
And dear old dad, and this is what my son has said several times, that I am going to be the Christmas tree that gets thrown up the chimney. So
I love that.
And and we have and I don't want to confuse our listeners, but we did an episode that hasn't come out yet for next month. But on that episode, I totally forgot that one Halloween, it was my first Halloween with my wife. It was my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And because we had just started dating in August, became official in September, in October, they had already planned out that everybody was going to be a different character in Clue, and I was the dead person.
How about that?
That's who I was. I was the dead person.
So we're tying.
I'm tying everything we've done.
This is
but
like
I totally forgot about it.
It's like trying to keep up with Tenet right now.
Yes.
It's like
yes.
the Clue
Tenet
episode
and Inception is happening.
The Clue episode that we just recorded in the past that
Right.
you will not hear for another 4 weeks.
Correct.
That's what we're talking about here.
But this is specifically about Halloween, or
Yeah.
it is the season.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot.
That
was my first thing, and we've been Jim Carrey characters. I was the cable guy.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I forgot what other people. I know one of my brother-in-laws, he was Ace Ventura in a tutu. And then we've been, we were all Disney characters. So I remember my brother-in-law, his wife, and his 2 kids, or maybe it's just one at the time. But anyway, they were from Up.
Okay.
We were, I was a Dalmatian and my wife was Corella.
I honestly don't remember the last time I dressed up for Halloween.
We love it.
We love it too, but it's more like for us, we will set up a table at the end of the driveway because our cul-de-sac's at the top of the hill. We don't want to make we try to put me and the other neighbors in the cul-de-sac get a table out in the middle of the road, and just so that they don't have to run around to all the houses. They've already run up the hill. Why make them keep walking? They can come there. But we just sit in the road with a bottle of gin or a bottle of whiskey and a bowl of chili and just hang out.
Is that what you give the kids?
Yeah.
Whiskey and chili?
That's what we give the
Nice.
kids, whiskey and chili.
No, we were, so our first year, which he was maybe 8 months old, he was dressed up as a skunk, and I was a fox, and his mom was a deer, so it's kind of like woodland
Okay. That's
animals,
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
Last year, in handmade costumes by my wife, he was Cookie Monster, she was Oscar, and I was Big Bird.
That's awesome.
And I remember it sort of rained, and my feathers smelled like pure ass by the end.
Yeah.
But, and so this year, it could be the Grinch. I could also see us being Mickey. Mickey characters.
Yeah.
Goofy, Mickey, Minnie. I don't know. We'll see.
I
really hope I'm just a Christmas tree that gets shoved up in a chimney, but we'll see.
I mean, they make I'm picturing you in one of those inflatable Christmas tree.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure
things.
my wife will probably make these.
Yeah.
Yeah. She likes that stuff, and especially since he's little.
Yeah. Well, it's an exciting time.
Yeah.
Like my wife and I, we didn't really do anything for Halloween until we started going up to New Jersey and spending it with the kids and seeing when they were younger, our niece and nephew, when they were younger and still really into Halloween, it kind of started getting us into Halloween too. We never used to decorate for Halloween. We would have fall decorations up, but then it was we start getting into it, watching all the movies, and the next thing you know, we've got a box full of Halloween decorations that we put out in October.
Yeah.
So.
Next year, I'm hoping I get to choose because I'm going to be Bruce Willis from The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Oliver is going to be Haley Joel Osment from The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
And my wife, Brittany, is going to be Toni Collette from The Sixth Sense.
There we go. We go.
Yeah.
I want to be Gunther, the wrestler.
Oh,
that would just be
that's
that would
easy.
be such an easy costume.
Yeah, that is an easy costume.
You just put on some underwear and then find a trench coat.
But you're gonna have to really cut your hair.
Yeah, well, I could
have to commit.
I could do that.
Okay,
I could do that.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I work from home, so
that's true.
It doesn't matter what.
And
my
you
hair
hate
looks
going out in
like.
public, so really you're fine.
My hairline would be the biggest problem because I would end up
mine too.
Probably just looking like Paul Giamatti. So. If Paul
now,
Giamatti
if we could all go as
Halloween,
Paul Giamatti characters, that would be.
We should do that. We should do that.
I'll bite the bullet and I'll be the one from Cinderella Man because I'm sure the holdovers of Sideways be very popular.
I could be Paul Giamatti from the Holdovers because sometimes I don't sleep that well and my eye drifts a little bit.
Oh,
so I think I could
we
pull
gotta
that
get
off.
you.
Yeah,
where you're lacking a lot of sleep.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here to talk about the others.
Yeah.
This film, what put it back on our radar a year ago, it was released as a part of the Criterion Collection. Really slick cover.
Oh, yeah.
Good looking disc, if you will.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that a few times.
I haven't bought it yet. It's one that I want to add to the collection, but the new ones, when they have their sale every summer and every holiday season.
I think it's usually around this month. I think it usually happens about October.
Is it? I couldn't remember. It was October or November. I can't recall. But the new ones are always harder to find. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait for a year or two before this thing people stop buying it, and I can get it during their half off sale. But I would 100% want to add this to the collection. I told you before we started recording, I think this is a film that actually gets better with age. It's held up well. It's kind of, man, it just reminds me of like a classic, good old-fashioned ghost story.
Yes.
Like this is something you'd read from like an Arthur Conan Doyle book or something like that.
Well, I was telling you, I guess I didn't realize just kind of like how spooky it is. It's not scary. I don't really think that's accurate. But you want to talk about just living, breathing in atmosphere.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This one's it. And I don't think I appreciated it as much as I did watching it this time, with each room and the way it's lit. And when the sun comes in and they have to close it. I mean, it's so much in darkness.
Yeah.
And just in general.
And I think, like, I haven't watched this movie since it came out in 2001.
Me neither.
So it's been 24 years for me at this point. And I just know in 2001 I was 15 years old and I had no taste whatsoever for, like, the ancillary components of filmmaking. It's like not just the acting and the storytelling, but like the setting, the atmosphere, the sound, the set design, all of those, like a lot of the technical aspects of filmmaking stuff too. I didn't appreciate, and I think that's one thing that just immediately blew me away. It was like just the gloomy look of this thing. It's drab, dreary colors. Like everything is like a various shade of gray, and the fog over the property, the darkness that is only broken by like lantern light, because I mean it is set in whatever centuries ago. Yeah. But I think that is something that really enhances this film in a way that a lot of films in the genre just I don't know if they take their time with the way that the others takes its time.
Well, they're unable to capture this kind of essence in what the story, first of all, where our setting is and time period, but also just having these characters and, I mean, as a result, the audience just kind of sit in it. Yeah. And you can't really, like, I don't know about you, but as you're watching, it's like you can't, like, you need sunlight to feel refreshed. And that's something that no one is getting. And even when it comes in, it's seen as a threat. Yeah. And, but yeah, I really, I liked it. It is a perfect Halloween movie. Yeah. Like it's, like I said, the atmosphere alone, acting's great. Nicole Kidman, you know, she doesn't really, I mean, I think this is probably the only quote unquote scary movie she's in. Yeah. That she's done. But even then, I see why, because this isn't your stereotypical horror ghost story. I thought it was actually a more thoughtful. I like the way it's paced. Mm-hmm. It certainly plays a part as things start to get a little more creepier and crazier within their home. And then there is this loss with her husband and their father. So, you know, and even some of it, even after it ended, it was kind of like, well, okay, where did he, like, when did he come? You know, but it's almost like, it's actually, I think, smarter than what I would give it credit for, because I think a lot of times, especially in 2001, it's kind of like, oh, it's the twist, and, you know, it's hot, you know, just a few years off from The Sixth Sense and that twist. And I think I remember the twist a lot more than the story it's telling by the time we get to the twist. And how I knew that it was, that I still liked it, is I liked it and I knew what was going to happen.
You knew the ending was coming. Right. And so it's almost like you're appreciating all of the other things about the film along the way.
And like you said, it's so well crafted and well done and well lit. And there is, like I said, this atmosphere that they are creating before you ever even get to like the ghost story part of it. is really well done. It's almost like an art house horror movie.
Yeah,
a ghost story, I guess.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about this is like the concept of elevated horror. It's like horror that is not just, blood and guts and jump scares and stuff like that. Would you consider this elevated horror?
For its time, yes. I don't think it's like the kind you get now with Jordan Peele's stuff, for instance, or even
like the social commentary,
right?
Kind of.
But I do think, for just what it is with the ghost story, I think the way that it is told and handled, yes, I think because you kind of start getting into like The Ring, The Grudge, and all these type of things, and all their ripoffs or remakes, and this one kind of stands on its own. It's its own little thing. I thought the marketing. I remember the marketing. I was like, oh, it's going to be scary. And I don't know if some people were disappointed in it because it's, like I said, it's not what you maybe think it is going into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's better than your usual fare that centers around these type of stories. And there's a quality to it, not just with Nicole Kidman being in it. Which it's also weird where you see like it's produced by Tom Cruise. But anyway, because they're still kicking at this point.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even catch that.
But yeah, I do think in its own way, and especially back then, yeah, I think it's they don't go for any cheap scares or anything like that. There's a lot more I think that's put into it. Like I said, it's well thought, and also just the skill level to create something like that. Because honestly, that setting and stuff is what makes. I mean, that's what makes the film.
Yeah,
I mean, performances and stuff aside, you can't. Like, it's creepy and chilling almost all the way through, and you think something's wrong, something's not right, but you don't get all of these feelings without having that kind of paying attention to detail within that atmosphere that we're talking about.
And I think Nicole Kidman really adds to it. And, it's a way, like, she just has a very natural, and I don't want this to sound like an insult or disrespect or anything, but like, her eyes are so haunting in this movie that, like, from a physical standpoint, like, that's something that I caught myself thinking, like, you had to have Nicole Kidman for this role because of just like how haunting she looks in this. And it is part of the facial expressions, but it's like her eyes are so big in this that it's just, you feel like you're staring at something otherworldly. Yeah. And it's like she herself feels very supernatural in this movie.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say, it is quite captivating on what she's able to convey without really even saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like these expressions, and I mean, and I guess when you put yourself in this, and especially what they've gone through is dealing with the grief and everything too, is this sadness and this isolation that they're all experiencing.
Yeah.
And then put on that fear on top of it, of what is not going on. Yeah, I mean, you have to have somebody, which I'm sure, I know I've told you this. I don't know if I said it on a podcast, but the story goes that originally Jodie Foster was going to be in the others, and Nicole Kidman was supposed to be in Panic Room. And then due to, I want to think maybe Nicole Kidman being pregnant or something, but as we know, they ended up swapping. Swipping is what I call it.
Swipping, that's right. Yeah.
And I love Panic Room. I think Jodie Foster's perfect for it. I don't see Nicole Kidman doing that movie.
I don't either.
I don't see Jodie Foster doing the others. I just don't think they're both tremendous talents, but some of the things just work out in the end. And when I just recently watched this, it just reaffirmed that the right person is is in both. But I totally agree, and I think it's that kind of. And I'm sorry, but you kind of need one of those top tier actresses like her to get you through all of these roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah. And I think like she's got a blood curdling scream in this that like I was so surprised. It kind of made me wonder, like, why didn't she do more horror stuff?
Yeah.
Because she probably would have been pretty good at it. But
I bet she got offered a lot before and probably a lot after. But I think I mean, now seeing the career she's done, I have a feeling a lot of them probably are what we said. The others is not.
Well, she probably John Elwayed it. She's
Yeah.
like, how am I ever going to produce a horror?
What
better
else
than
am I
that?
going to do besides being maybe where you're running from something or being haunted by something anyway?
Yeah. I thought that using quiet moments to build tension,
Oh, yeah.
to me, is far more enthralling than the constant threat that you see, if that makes sense. Because I do think there's an early part in this movie where I don't know if you really know which direction it's going to go. And to me, it was more unsettling to wonder what is out there, and just the terror, the deep cosmic fear that comes from the unknown. It's like what you don't see. And I think that's one thing that this film leverages too. To me, that is where it's scariest, is in what you don't see.
Yeah.
And to me, that's something that is a tool in a lot of horror movies that I like.
Yeah.
That I don't want to necessarily see what's going on out there.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why, for instance, the one where they actually do kind of show you something with her daughter.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good time to do our impression.
Do you want to do it first? Or
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Go for it.
Are you mad? I am your daughter.
Are you mad? I am your daughter. I don't know. That was like more Resident Evil girl.
Yeah, mine. I think
You're all going to die down here. That was Charles Dickens.
I think mine was a Julie Andrews, Mary Poppins type thing.
Okay.
Anyway,
We're
but
good.
they
nowhere near our Black Phillip impressions.
no.
That you'll hear next week.
We have left our listeners with a lot to keep in mind for the next
It's
month.
like watching Tenet.
Yeah,
Listening to this
is.
episode is like watching
It
Tenet.
is. But our audio's better.
Yeah.
But that's why it is kind of jarring, because you haven't seen that much.
Yeah.
So many things are hinted at, and then of course as the third act reveals itself, you sort of realize what has really been going on and why with the son and all that stuff. But yeah, but to me, like, every now and then you got something like that, and it was very effective, because that's not what really the film is about, and that's not what they're trying to do. But but they're placed, I thought, in really good spots to kind of be like, oh yeah, that's right, this is a ghost story. I want to give a shout out to Finola Flanagan, who was the main lady of the groundskeeping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought she did a great job, and she's been in tons of stuff.
So, I don't know why you would be listening to this podcast if you haven't seen this movie, but I want to give people the spoiler warning anyway. We might have already talked about spoilers and I just didn't catch it, but talking about Nicole Kidman, a couple more notes before we moved on. I think she just has a very ghost-like quality in general in this
She's
film
pale.
that I don't know that anybody else would have pulled off as well as she did.
I agree.
But there was also some interesting foreshadowing in this that I didn't catch, with a lot of the scenes of her looking out the window, and the reflection that you see in the window is a very, like, it looks like an apparition looking in. And I thought, man, that is like another layer of this film that I didn't appreciate at the time, where it's like there were actually little nuggets, like, going into it, knowing the twist at the end. There were little nuggets that they dropped along the way. And again, to a point you made earlier, it's like, you know what's going to happen, and yet you're still finding moments like that in the film that are highly enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it didn't really detract from it at all. And
I
that
agree.
To me is a mark. Like, when you have a story that has such a big twist in it like this, but that is not what the movie is at its core, that is a sweet spot, man.
Yes.
That's when you got something really good on your hands.
That's when you know that from in front of the camera and behind the camera, you've touched on something that a lot of people never do, especially in this genre.
Yeah. Yeah. So this film was written and directed by Alejandro Amenabar.
Mm-hmm.
He won Best Director at what is essentially the Spanish Oscars for this in 2001. Very good film, but I don't know any of his other works. I mean, he has, so we can run through it real quick. As a writer and director, 1996, Thesis, Open Your Eyes in 1997, The Others in 2001, The Sea Inside, which is a Javier Bardem film in 2004.
I remember that one.
Agora,
I think that was his first Oscar nomination for The Sea Inside.
Agora in 2009, Regression in 2015, While at War in 2019, and a film called The Captive that should be out this year. It might already be out. But I'm not familiar with Alejandro's work here. This kind of feels like I don't know how you make The Others and don't just become a superstar in this country.
I have not heard, besides The Sea Inside, but you know what I did see?
What's that?
He did a film that appears to have been adapted by Cameron Crowe that ended up becoming Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz.
How about that?
This one is called, well, it has him as a writer in it, but for them, it is... Yeah, it says writers, and there's two people for the film, and then Cameron Crowe wrote the screenplay based on their film.
Wow, there you go.
It says Abre los Ojos. Ojos.
Yeah.
It has him and Mateo Gil, and then Cameron Crowe in the screenplay. But yeah, guess he's just one and done too, or with a horror. I don't know, regression. I don't know, some of those may have been. But I like that he did The Sea Inside.
Let's see. The Regression psychological thriller with Emma Watson and Ethan Hawke.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so
I think I do remember that one. I just didn't realize he was doing that.
Rachel Weisz was in Agora. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I've never heard this name before.
I hadn't either.
That's all the notes that I have for The Others, but I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do want to talk about Nicole Kidman's filmography a bit, because this is one that, I mean, nobody needs me to tell you what a talented actress Nicole Kidman is, but this was one that I rewatched and I thought, as far as her performances go, I think this one probably deserves a little more love in her grand filmography.
Oh, I'd agree with that.
Do you have a favorite Nicole Kidman film? You don't have to give me a Mount Rushmore, but I'm just curious.
One that a lot of people don't talk about that I really enjoyed, I mean, it's sad, but is Rabbit Hole with her and Aaron Eckhart.
I don't think I ever saw that.
I don't know if a lot of people have.
When was that? 2010. I see it here. Yeah. American drama.
Mm-hmm. And it's about the death of their child.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
but and I think, is it Miles Teller who plays the person who actually, like, it was an accident, yeah. And it's about kind of forgiveness and grief, but it was a car accident. Miles Teller was the one. He's a very young Miles Teller. But that's one that doesn't get, I think, a lot of attention. She's been killing it in TV for a while.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
I'm just quickly going through some of it. I liked, speaking of TV, her and Hugh Grant in The Undoing was good. I liked her.
She won Best Actress for The Hours.
Correct, yes.
She was also nominated for Moulin Rouge and Rabbit Hole. She was nominated for Best Actress.
Okay.
Yeah. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Lion.
Yep, with Dave Patel. That was a good one.
Yeah, and then she was also nominated for Being the Ricardos. I liked that movie. It was more about the performances than the movie itself, but
yes,
I
would agree.
Javier Bardem were pretty good together.
I liked her in one of the ones, The Beguiled and Stoker.
Oh, okay.
Two different movies,
yeah,
but I feel like they kind of are spiritual siblings there. And listen, I personally like Hugh Grant more, but she was the original villain in Paddington, and she did a great job.
Ooh, and The Northman just recently. I liked her in Baby Girl too.
You know what? She did do The Invasion, which is a take off The Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Daniel Craig in 2007. So I guess that sort of counts.
Yeah. Cold Mountain is in there.
I like Cold Mountain. If I had to, wait a minute, what is this?
Eyes Wide Shut. How could we forget? Oh, man, yeah. Days of Thunder, her early career.
She's credited in being in Panic Room.
As a voice cameo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
As a character's girlfriend.
I see Steven's girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see. I mean, obviously Moulin Rouge is a big one. I like her in it. But I don't know. I think my favorite...
Australia with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Baz Luhrmann.
Man, I kind of want to go with something like Stoker.
Okay.
I really kind of, as I'm looking through, and I really do think she's great in Paddington. But Rabbit Hole is probably the one I would let everybody. Margot at the Wedding, she's great in. But yeah, I would say Rabbit Hole people should check out. Again, it's not, like entertaining as far as like making you laugh and stuff. But,
it's not a knee slapper.
But you know what? I forgot what her character did in the others. I knew they were ghosts, but I forgot
I did too.
Happened.
Yeah. And that she's kind of lost her shit.
Yeah. But I think it's because of war. I think it's because of her husband not coming back and the kids.
Yeah.
So it was almost like oh my gosh, what do they call it now? Postpartum. It almost kind of felt like that. I know the kids they're young but not real young, but I feel like there was that before obviously anybody knew what to call it.
Yeah.
And the fact that she did that and then did herself in. I totally forgot about that.
And I think like the father returning, I thought was like a nice metaphor for like the trauma that can kind of tether you to this world. Like, these ghosts should be moving on, but like they can't.
Yeah.
And I thought that's a good metaphor for trauma in the real world and like being able to process that and move on.
And it kind
with
of
your
felt
life.
like, and the way I took it was the husband was also lost, but clearly from war.
Yes.
But lost with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like he got to go home when he found them.
Yeah.
And then it took her some time to come to the realization of what has actually occurred in their home.
Yeah.
For that too. And so
very cool movie.
It's heartbreaking when you kind of find that out of just like, and I think again, you don't have to be a parent, but if you are one, it's kind of like, how do you get there? But mentally, we were talking about something that a lot of people either it's happened or it's unthinkable. But but especially back then and seeing and how much she cared about them, but in the end, it's the mental, how it affects you mentally on trying to keep that house together during these times. It's like you don't know unless you've walked in their shoes, but. This was really well done. I wouldn't even classify it as a scary movie, but I tell you what, that atmosphere alone and that one kind of set, chamber piece set in this one is perfectly done.
I landed on a 4.5 out of 5 for this.
I would think I would definitely say at least a 4 for me. And it's just the craftsmanship that's going on to tell this story, whether it's literally telling it or just visually telling you it's more than just a scary movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really the point I try to get across is that it's a ghost story, but it's one that is rarely told like this.
Well said. And that's a great note to end on. That's going to do it for us here. Another episode of the Movie Review Rewind podcast on Nashville Movie Dispatch. If you're into this sort of thing and you haven't gone back and listened to last week's episode, again, we kicked off our spooky season marathon here with a look at Halloween from 1978. 78. There we go. Next week, we're going to talk about The Witch, and then we have episodes on Cursed and Ernest Scared Stupid that will round out spooky season for us this year. It's a fantastic season on the Movie Review Rewind podcast. That's going to do it for us. He's Brandon. I'm Stoney. And until next time, you stay classy, moviegoers.